Riding the rails back in time, we find ourselves in the early 1800s, the dawn of the American railway system. This was a time of great innovation and exploration, when the clatter of wheels on iron tracks began to echo across the vast expanse of the United States. Our journey begins in the city of Baltimore, Maryland, where the seeds of the American railway system were first sown. In the year 1827, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad was born, marking the dawn of a new era in transportation. This was no small feat. It was the result of tireless work by a host of engineers, investors and laborers, all united in their vision of a connected America. The railways played a pivotal role in the industrialization of the United States. They hauled coal, timber and other raw materials from the heartlands to the factories lining the eastern seaboard. They were the arteries of a growing nation, pumping life into the very fabric of American society. Then came the Civil War, a tumultuous period that further highlighted the strategic importance of the railways. They moved troops and supplies, becoming an integral part of the war effort, and later, the Reconstruction that followed. The late 19th and early 20th century witnessed what many consider the golden age of rail travel. Luxury trains like the Orient Express and the 20th Century Limited were symbols of elegance and sophistication, transporting passengers across vast rail networks that crisscrossed the country, from bustling cities to the untamed wilderness of the West. However, the mid-20th century brought about significant changes. The advent of automobiles and airplanes presented new competition for the railways. Passenger numbers dwindled, and the once flourishing railway industry began to falter. Many companies struggled to stay afloat, and the grand era of railway travel seemed to be drawing to a close, but as the 20th century progressed, the railway's star began to fade, setting the stage for a new player: Amtrak. Enter Amtrak, born out of a crisis in the early 1970s. The once glorious era of American passenger trains was on the brink of extinction, a victim of the relentless competition from cars and airlines. The number of passengers on trains was plummeting, and railway companies were bleeding red ink. Something had to be done to save this vital piece of American transportation history. The American government stepped in with a vision to revive passenger train service. The man at the helm was none other than Richard Nixon, the President of the United States at the time. He, alongside his Transportation Secretary John Volpe, proposed a bold solution. They envisioned a new national rail system that would consolidate the struggling rail services under one umbrella. This was not an easy task, nor was it without controversy. It required the cooperation of various rail companies, many of which were hesitant to cede control. But Nixon and Volpe were determined. They believed that a unified system could bring efficiency and stability, and ultimately, save passenger train service from oblivion. After much negotiation and planning, their vision became a reality. The Consolidated Rail Corporation, better known as Conrail, was formed in April 1971. But it was the following month, May, that saw the birth of the National Railroad Passenger Corporation, or as we know it today, Amtrak. Amtrak was tasked with the enormous responsibility of providing intercity passenger train service across the continental United States. It was a bold experiment, a gamble even, but it was a necessary one. The government believed that Amtrak could breathe new life into the ailing passenger train industry, and they were willing to bet on its success. And so, on May 1, 1971, Amtrak's first trains rolled out, marking a new chapter in American railway history. It was a moment of hope and anticipation, a moment that signaled the birth of a new era for passenger trains. And as we'll see in the next scene, it was just the beginning of Amtrak's journey. In its early years, Amtrak had to find its tracks, so to speak. The company started operations in May 1971, but it wasn't exactly smooth sailing. Amtrak inherited a fleet of aging trains and a crumbling infrastructure from the various railroads that had handed over their passenger services. It was like being handed the keys to a classic car with a beautiful exterior but a rusty engine and worn-out tires. But Amtrak didn't let these challenges derail its mission. Instead, it embarked on a journey of transformation and expansion. Throughout the 1970s, Amtrak began to introduce new types of trains and expand its services. It was during this decade that we saw the launch of the San Francisco Zephyr, the Floridian, and the Auto Train, just to name a few. The expansion didn't stop there. In the 1980s, Amtrak continued to reach out to more American cities. It was a time of growth and innovation for the company. The introduction of the high-speed Acela Express in the Northeast Corridor and the extended services to cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and Miami showcased Amtrak's commitment to connecting America. This period also saw Amtrak breathe new life into its fleet. The company introduced the Superliner cars, double-decker trains that offered more seating capacity and better views for passengers. These new trains, coupled with the refurbished stations and improved tracks, symbolized the rebirth of the American passenger rail system. But it wasn't all about expansion and new trains. Amtrak also had to navigate the turbulent waters of financial difficulties and changing government policies. It had to prove to its critics that it was not just a nostalgic relic of the past, but a viable and necessary part of America's transportation future. Despite the obstacles, Amtrak kept chugging along, becoming a vital part of America's transportation system. Fast forward to today, and Amtrak stands as a testament to the enduring appeal of rail travel. As it stands, Amtrak operates more than 300 trains daily, connecting over 500 destinations in 46 states, the District of Columbia, and 3 Canadian provinces. From the coastal routes of the Pacific Surfliner to the mountain vistas of the Empire Builder, Amtrak's network offers a diversity of journeys that is unmatched. As for the trains themselves, Amtrak boasts a variety of options to cater to every traveler, from the high-speed Acela Express to the double-decker Superliner. Recent years have seen the introduction of new trains with improved features, including more comfortable seating, better accessibility, and enhanced Wi-Fi connectivity. Moreover, Amtrak is not resting on its laurels. Over the past few years, the company has made significant strides in modernizing its services and amenities. We've seen the introduction of contemporary menu options in dining cars, the implementation of a new user-friendly website and mobile app, and the rollout of an upgraded rewards program. Looking ahead, the future of Amtrak is brimming with promise. The company has ambitious plans for expansion, with new routes and stations in the pipeline. One of the most exciting prospects is the proposed Gateway program, which aims to improve passenger rail capacity between Newark, New Jersey, and New York City. This project, if realized, would be a significant step towards better serving the Northeast Corridor, one of the busiest rail lines in the country. In terms of modernization, Amtrak is also exploring the potential of cleaner, more efficient technologies. This includes the possibility of introducing hybrid or fully electric trains in the future, in line with global trends towards more sustainable transportation. As we look down the tracks, the future of Amtrak seems bright, continuing its journey in the American story. From the early days of American railways to the birth and growth of Amtrak, we've traveled a long way. We began our journey with the dawn of the American railways, a time of innovation and growth that set the stage for the birth of Amtrak. We learned about the tireless efforts of key figures who were instrumental in its creation, a testament to the spirit of ingenuity and determination that marked this era. We then chugged along to Amtrak's early years, witnessing its initial struggles and subsequent expansion. We saw Amtrak service extend to new places and reach more people, reflecting its commitment to providing an accessible and reliable mode of transportation for the nation. Fast forwarding to the present, we explored Amtrak as it stands today and its plans for the future. We delved into the improvements made over the years and the vision that continues to drive its growth. Despite the challenges and changes, Amtrak remains a vital and dynamic part of America's transportation infrastructure. As we pull into the station, remember that every time you board an Amtrak train, you're not just traveling from one place to another, you're riding a piece of American history.